I think it starts with attitude. So as a formerly incarcerated person, I know that when I had things to do to keep my mind busy, my time went faster and I felt better about myself and that there was something that would happen for me positive after release. I think when the time is spent sitting in front of a TV all the time, or playing cards all the time and not engaging our minds, I think that's when some of the negativity creeps in and makes it more difficult to do time and creates a little more desperation that when I get out, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do.
When you open your mind to education, to learn things, even hard things, another language, a music, a talent, it's neuroplasticity. It's a way that our mind can stretch, can grow, can change, and create brand new brain paths. It's like we cycle through, we tend to negativity because that's just the way we are. And so when there's something sad or tragic or a memory, you just kind of fall back into it over and over and over, and it keeps you the same. When you expand that to a new path, whether it's studying about animals, about the phenomenon of your body, of your eyes, learning to read to another level, these things are just huge. Before you know it, you're traveling. You're literally going to other countries, to other places. You're sitting right where you are, and you're expanding your mind, and you're getting over those walls. And so the more you do that, the more you reach out, you actually change your own environment and you make your own hope.
I'm formerly incarcerated myself. When I was incarcerated, I was in Georgia, and we had a GED program, but nothing else. All we had was a GED. We didn't have tablets or anything. And I was actually a high school dropout. So when I went to prison, I had dropped out right at the beginning of ninth grade. I didn't really know anything about pursuing higher education or why, but I got my GED while I was incarcerated. And it meant a lot to me. For the first time in a long time, I felt validated that I wasn't an idiot. I was off of drugs. I had been on drugs before incarceration, and kind of getting sober and getting that validation that I could earn my GED really inspired me to go further. And after being released from prison, I went to a community college for a year, and I was very lucky. I applied and got into Ohio State University. And to be honest, education changed my life in ways that I can't even fully articulate. Education is something that people can never take away from you. It's not just a diploma or a credential, but it's just knowledge that's so powerful. And if you know about my story, you know that I'm an entrepreneur. I've built multiple businesses, and my education has just been foundational. People can give you money, they can give you connections, but without the knowledge, you can't execute on those things. So when you're incarcerated and you have access to education, it is a true life-changing resource that when harnessed and used, it can just completely change the direction of your life.
Changing your life, if you want to change the direction of your life, you change the way you think. And as incarcerated individuals who have been through really hard stuff, traumatic things, right? Stressful things. And that changes the way that we think about our worldview, about the things around us, even about our own lives and even about ourselves. And so if you can get a different perspective, one that has a healing perspective, a more positive perspective on life and what is really going on, and not have your pain and the trauma things kind of lead and guide you, but instill that hope and that purpose that you matter, and you have value and you have purpose. And if you change the way that you think about your life, you can change your direction and in your life.
Absolutely, there is life after incarceration. There's a lot of wonderful opportunities out there, but those are things that I believe we have to be prepared for, and we get prepared for that through education, through training, and some of it is just kind of figuring out what we want to do, because there's a lot of different industries that are embracing formerly incarcerated people, that we can get good jobs that pay well and provide benefits. But I say this all the time, I have the privilege of speaking inside jails and prisons frequently, and nobody is going to show up at our front door and say, here's a suitcase filled with wishes. I think we need to take the time on the inside to best prepare ourselves, so when we walk out the door, we know what direction we want to go in.
You have to work to just negate all the lies that have been said about you, all the labels that are put on you, and society kind of just takes stuff, puts you in a box and says, that's you. Whether it's just some of those terms, I personally just can't stand them. Just, you're a career criminal, you're an addict, you're this way, you did this. And people that don't know you are defining you. You're you. No one can tell you who you are. You are writing your own story, your own destiny, and you're beautiful. You're bigger than where you are. It's not determined by your location or your outer place, but your inner space. And so if you build the life on the inside, everything on the outside becomes so secondary. Even those of you serving a long sentence or life, or whether you're going to get out, if you would open up and realize, okay, I'm me, I have a need, I have potential, I have capacity to change the world right around you, one person at a time. And if you just see that, see beyond the walls, see beyond the labels and the box, you will realize you are way bigger and can go way farther than you imagined.
Something that I would implement, if I could implement something starting tomorrow in all corrections across the nation, would be that the family gets to go through programming with the incarcerated individual. Because I think that the family kind of gets left behind, and there's a major focus on getting the skills, getting the character, getting everything, all the resources poured to the individual that's incarcerated, so that when they get out, they're ready to rock and roll and get the job and do all of those things that are needed for them to not recidivate. However, there's a gap between the family's reintegration with that individual coming home that I think is missed, because a lot of times what happens is they come home and they don't know how to navigate that relationship now, or if they were maybe home for a little bit when the children were younger, and then they are incarcerated for a couple of years, and then they come home. Now the child has grown a little bit and they don't really know how to interact with their parent when there's not a guard clapping at them or telling them, hey, you can't do that, or they see their parents flirting for the first time. And so, like, how do you navigate that reintegration into the family? Because I think if an individual can reintegrate into the family well and seamless, then it's going to be a lot easier for them to reintegrate into society and into the workforce and all of those things, because now they have that support. So something that I would change is to have the families integrated into the programming with the incarcerated individual.